Indie game or indie video game, short for independent video game, is a video game created by individuals or smaller development teams, and typically without the financial and technical support of a large game publisher, in contrast to most AAA games. When you think of indie games, what comes to mind? Do you think of a game like Stardew Valley, a game originally made by one person? What about a game like Clair Obscur Expedition 33, one of arguably the most highly regarded and well recognized indie games of the last 20 years? Hollow Knight, Celeste, Cuphead, and Balatro are also a lot more iconic indie games that come to mind. These games are all so different and unique, but still have two things in common. One, they're all indie games. Two, subjectively, they all come with their own unique and exciting experience to enjoy. Today, I want to highlight a series of games that to you might just be another indie game that fits into those 2 points. But to me, these games have helped me bring a new perspective that I really want to share. Look, at the heart of it, I'm an achievement hunter. I enjoy playing games and grinding out achievements. There's just something that's so satisfying about being able to call a game complete and saying that you've done everything you can within a game. So when I got shown the Frog Detective series, I went into it thinking, hey, 3 short games, some easy achievements, and a bit of fun along the way. Let's get froggin'. All of these games follow the main character, Frog Detective, the second best investigator in town on the cases his supervisor assigns to him. The first game we get sent to an island that we suspect is haunted, the second game we get sent to a forest called Warlock Woods, and the third we get sent to a western themed town called Cowboy County. Now here I'm just going to put a spoiler warning in case you want to play through the games yourself, which honestly you should. I finished all 3 games in like 4 hours combined. Still here? Okay, cool. Let's start with Frog Detective 1, The Haunted Island. After speaking with our supervisor, we hear that a sloth living on an island off the bay named Martin has been hearing ghost sounds. Martin hired a team of ghost scientists, however they haven't been able to crack the case, so they ask for our help. Initially they want Lobster Cop, who is apparently the best investigator in town, but he's too busy, so we agree to help. Firstly, I just want to say how much I love this cutscene as we travel to the island, where it introduces every character you're going to meet on your journey. This is something that's done in every game and set the scene quite nicely. Oh, the lightning as well. This could be menacing. Mo the mouse. Is that a koala? I see. Once you arrive at the island, you're greeted by Mystery Monkey, who starts off by saying he's a big fan of our blog and giving you an idea of the case. Frog Detective gameplay is quite simple. You're a detective, so you need to speak to other characters on the island to gather intel. We speak to another character, Larry, who tells us about a cave that the noises are coming from, and the best way to get into that cave is an explosive device, and gives us a list of things we need. Apparently this is common knowledge on how to make a bomb with these ingredients. Someone should keep an eye on Larry. However, now that we have our list of items, we can speak to other characters who each have their own issues, something that they need from us, and something they'll give us in return for helping them out. For example, our boy Fresh X will give us the toothpaste we need, but we need to give him something to keep his mouth fresh. We find Mo the mouse, who is preparing for the dance competition and wants to impress Mystery Monkey, and if we do, he'll give us some mouthwash in return. We get the intel from Mystery Monkey and let Mo know that Mystery Monkey is a fan of breakdancing, and we get the mouthwash. With the mouthwash, we get the toothpaste along with the other items we need for this explosive device. We uncover the cave thanks to Larry and find that the ghost is none other than Finley, Martin the Sloth's friend, who is actually just preparing for the dance competition. I know that name. It's Martin's old mate. With the case solved, we head back to the surface to tell everybody what's happened. Another thing I really do like about this game is occasionally the creator of the game herself, Grace, will kind of just pop into frame and interrupt a conversation to, kind of break the fourth wall a little bit, which I find pretty funny. There you go. Said here, couldn't have said it better myself. Books are overrated, the internet is the way to go. Oh. Enjoying the game. I won't keep you for long. While I agree with the detective on most issues, I can't be very useful and informative. It's important to check the validity of the author's sources. To check the book is up to date. The internet can also be a useful place to find information. Make sure you're getting your information from a trusted site. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of the game. Oh, there you go. And of course, what better way to celebrate a happy ending with, you guessed it, a party and a dance competition. As the honorary judge, of course we had to give our boy Mo the win. And just like that, it's the end of the game. Yep, that's literally it. I think it finished the game from start to finish in like 40 minutes. Although, while still in the first game, we actually get this ending cutscene revealing the next game, which would have been, I'm sure, awesome when this game just come out. You get one call about a case. Have you heard of Warlock Woods? I haven't. Well, there's something very strange going on there. They need our best investigator on the job. Lobster Cop wasn't available. Can you handle another case? Well, there you go. We'll return. The Case of the Invisible Wizard. I think I compare it to something like a Netflix show that you've just watched, had its second season announced, or like a sequel to a book or movie that you liked. It just adds that little bit of anticipation. However, this first game came out in 2018, so of course we don't have to wait. Let's get to the second game. We start Frog Detective 2 back on the phone with the supervisor picking up right where we left off from the last game. We hung up on him because we got too excited apparently. Anyways, we hear that a new resident moved in. The town was going to organize a welcome parade for them, but the supplies got destroyed and we need to find out who did it. We also find out that Warlock Woods is a magical village and the new resident is an invisible wizard. Wonder what gave that away. As we head out of our office, we meet the Lobster Cop, the #1 investigator that we idolize for his work out on the field. Oh shit! It's fucking Larry. No, not it's the Lobster Cop. God damn. After a bit of back and forth, we get gifted a notebook from Lobster Cop that we can use to take notes about our cases. This is one key addition from the first game to the second game. A notebook and more note taking, and we actually get the option to flag who we think is suspicious in our notebook, which I don't think actually changes anything, it's just cool. Same with decorating the notebook. It doesn't actually do anything, it's just a cool little addition. The thing I did find pretty cool was the notebook decoration actually carried across into the third game as well, which you'll see in a little bit, but I think it was really cool. That'll do. Good book. Yep. We get that same cool intro scene as we head into Warlock Woods, again introducing who we're going to be interacting with throughout the course of the story. The gameplay of this game is pretty much the exact same as the first one. We interact with everyone to get an idea of the case as a detective. Some characters will need or want certain things, and in return, we'll get something we need. These notes now, however, all get filled out in our notebook, so we can come back to it if we forget. After speaking to everyone, we get extorted by Mary and need 5 money to pay her.
Extortion? Yes. That's great news. Is it? Detective, I would like to extort you. What the fuck? I don't think that's legal. I'm above the law. Okay.
I would like 5 money for a train ticket. I don't have any money. Well, you best get some soon. What do you need a train ticket? I want to go to Froggy Wood and become a star. Alright. Or you give me information. What kind of information? A phone number. Who am I calling? I can't tell you that. All I can say is that they were... There's also these random pies around that we have to pick up for one of the characters, so there's that, I guess. After getting all of the pies, we work backwards getting all the stuff we need. We get a mysterious number for the postman Barney, who saw what happened and where to look, which we find the wizard's glasses and can go into her house. After chasing her down, we confront her, give her glasses back, where she tells us she was the one who destroyed the decorations by mistake since she dropped her glasses. She's also a frog named Lola. She gives us a decision to make about whether we snitch on her and say it was an accident or blame it on some evil dude that she defeated with her magic. For the achievements, I did both endings, which was good to see how each ending was still a good ending. What I really liked about the Frog Detective series is actually the missable achievements, as each of them gave their own unique interactions that you could have easily missed when playing through the game normally. For example, if instead of giving your money to Mary since you're being extorted, you can actually use that money to go buy a cute dog photo from Carlos, where you get the maker of the game, Grace, again cutting in saying that we've essentially ruined the story since you only get 5 money and gives us the rest of the money out of her own pocket.
Let's go.
Hello, Detective. I'm sorry to interrupt you. As you may remember, I'm Grace. I made this game with my studio Worm Club. I was tracking your progress and I noticed that you spent your money on a picture. You've really complicated things for me. See, there's only 5 money in the game. In order to solve it, you need all 5 money, but you spent 3 money. So now what? If I was anyone else, I'd end the game here. However, I'm very generous and kind. I'm going to give you another 3 money so you can solve the mystery. This comes from my own pocket, so please don't spend it on anything that isn't relevant to this. Yes, you can keep the picture. That's pretty funny. Cool. That's pretty funny. Tangent aside, we finish with the parade and more dancing and celebration. I swear, half the animation in this game is just the final dancing credits, but I'm here for it. When we get back to our office, we hear from the supervisor again with yet another case. But this one is so much of a doozy that we're going to be working with the Lobster Cop on it. It's so sensitive, we don't get told about it, we just have to head to the station to find out.
Whoa.
Well, seems we left our notebook behind, but we jump on a train to head to Cowboy County in preparation for the third and final game, which didn't actually release until 2022, 3 years after this game, but we truly are saving the best for last. To start off Frog Detective 3, we get a special cameo from Mary, now being a famous actress acting out a recap of what we just went through.
Detective heads to the train station and... But can you believe it? Someone literally takes the detective's notebook. So messed up. Actual tears in my eyes, seriously. Knows about the stolen notebook yet. So, you're actually up to date now. Please, if you could leave a review of Anxious, because 5 stars. Cinematic masterpiece. Just great.
Cut back to present day, we arrive at our destination in the middle of nowhere and answer the phone with the supervisor again. We exchange pleasantries without being told the case due to not wanting our conversation traced. But we get a scooter to travel around the town on.
We've got a scooter. Yo!
We finally arrive at Cowboy County for real, in between doing tricks and riding around on our scooter. We speak to Lobster Cop and get told the original case was the town didn't have a sheriff and we needed to appoint one, which he did with one of his friends, Sheriff Mason Mole.
Yo!
However, it brings us to a new case that we need to solve where everyone's hats have been stolen and we need to find who did it.
But here's your notebook. He stole my notebook? Here.
Mason Mole also hands us our notebook. Like, how the fuck did he get our notebook? To crack the case, Lobster Cop gives us a list of stuff we need. Much like the first game, we have a list of things we need to get. We simply need to speak to everybody, find out what they need, get the thing they need, and we get something in return that is likely on our list of things we need. So, like the other games, we go off and do our detective work, meeting the town, filling our notebook, gathering items, and doxing ourselves.
Live at 100 scale. Did he just dox himself? He just doxed himself. Yeah, thanks, Grace. And you're mega rich. Then tell people where you live because now also you're gonna know. Okay, even then, just show them a photo to give them your.
I think the thing with this series is there's a really specific type of humor to it. It goes from being like really pun-filled to being very dry and satire. For example, Pistol believes he has just lost all of his artistic ability because he clicked on a link he shouldn't have and was cursed by a witch as a result. And it just kind of like, the delivery of it just, to me, may not be for everybody, but it just works. After eventually getting everything we need, we meet up with Lobster Cop again to crack this case once and for all. We found the hats, now for the big reveal.
I have found.
Oh no.
Oh no. Been framed.
Now, I'm just gonna say and put it on record now, I kinda called this as I was playing through the game. All signs just led to Lobster Cop being bad. But we end up in the bad room for our crimes that we didn't commit with the end of the series, and we stay locked up, right? Special guest, Mystery Monkey. I can't believe this. Yo, it's Mo! No, it isn't over yet. Frog Detective superfan Mystery Monkey himself straps up to solve the case of Frog Detective being framed. With Mystery Monkey, you get to snoop around Lobster Cop's office with the big reveal that Mason Mole and Lobster Cop are actually best friends, and that Mason Mole has been following Frog Detective around since Lobster Cop hasn't actually been solving cases and doesn't want his #1 position to be taken by Frog Detective. I think, in my opinion, one of the coolest things about this game is that when you go through Mystery Monkey's dialogue, he kind of has this hunch that he recognizes Mason Mole from somewhere before, and it's crazy that the answer has been in front of you this entire time. When you play through the first and second game, there's this like really split second that almost looks like an Easter egg that doesn't have any context or anything. I'll play them here, you can kind of see. You see this like for a split second, Mason Mole shows up on the screen, which doesn't mean anything, but it's the fact that he's been here this entire time and that the first game still came out more than 4 years ago, and this was like planned the entire time, but the player not knowing is just a really, really cool detail and a really, really cool part to the plot. Anyways, you get this cool cutscene at the end of the supervisor and Mystery Monkey rolling up to do some extra work in Cowboy County to free the detective and to put the true evildoers to rest. This is ridiculous, Lobster Cop. Crime is not real. There's kind of like a weird wholesomeness to it, with like Lobster Cop being jealous of Frog Detective for being actually the #1 best detective, but Mystery Monkey now being the new #1 best detective, but Frog Detective is like super happy for Mystery Monkey. It's just like kind of wholesome. And yep, of course, it wouldn't be a Frog Detective game without a big dance party at the end. Oh. After that dance party, back at the office, you actually have one final scene that's like a surprise party for Frog Detective's birthday with every character that you've interacted with in the last 3 games. And the other characters get Frog Detective a small little hat that he can wear. That's kind of like one of the gimmicks with Frog Detective, how he like can't wear hats, and that's why he gets framed in the story as well, because he can't wear hats, so he steals all the hats from everybody. I don't know. I think it's pretty funny. It's a cool way to end the story. On the final end credits, you also get, you get to see what every character's done as well. Even though each character really only has like 5 lines of text, they still have their own personality that is memorable in its own right, which I also think is a sign of good writing to me. And that's the Frog Detective series. Yep, that's the whole series. We go back and do a couple final missable achievements that we did miss. But you've probably read the title and you're still wondering, how did a small series of games about a frog help me fall in love with gaming again? I don't think I've ever really fallen out of love of gaming. I think the title definitely may have been a little bit of an exaggeration, but I think I've sat and thought about how to word this without completely contradicting myself or coming off as too narrow-minded or anything like that. But I think that's the entire point that I want to try to make. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion and ways to play games. Everyone is entitled to play the games that they want to play. You're welcome to do whatever you want in said games. Speedrun, achievement hunt, go for a high rank or leaderboard position, try to break the game as much as possible, or, you can simply enjoy the game for what it is. I think I said it at the start of this video. Experience. You're allowed to experience games how you want to. Everybody will experience games differently. And I think, look, this could be just an entirely me issue, and it's a perspective that I want to get out of, is ranking other people's opinion on games too highly above my own without having actually investigated or played the game myself. I think with, Steam reviews, social media, all of that stuff, I think it's easy for the gaming community to come up with a unanimous decision about a game sometimes before the game's even released, right? And I think that's where I want my perception to change. I want to be able to play more games and give a lot more games a chance, to make my own opinion on them, regardless of what others think about it. I think Frog Detective was a good part of that. It was something that I didn't really know about or think much of, but I, played it and found myself to enjoy it. And, it just makes me want to play more games again, Look, I've completely gone off on a tangent. I had a big script in front of me of stuff that I was going to say, but I think I will just end it off with, games don't have to be big and extravagant. Games don't need a lot of content to be, really, really good. Games are about an experience, and you may like those experiences, you may not like those experiences, but they're experiences for you to experience, I guess. I don't know. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out there, play more games, enjoy more games, probably achievement hunt more games, and I think you should as well. If you've watched this far, just go out there and play games, enjoy games. If you've got a game on your Steam library that you haven't played, go play it. You might like it. There's millions of games out there that you probably haven't even seen before, and one of them could just be a diamond in the rough waiting for you. So just go play games. That's all I'll say. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. See ya.